All right, let's jump into another deep dive. And today, we're diving into a debate that's been going on for years, right? Maradona or Messi, who's the ultimate football god.
Yeah, a classic.
Right. We've got this fantastic article, actually, that compares their styles, breaks down all those crazy iconic moments,
Wow.
even throws in some hypothetical matchups.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So if you're ready for some hardcore football talk, you're in the right place.
You know what I think is so interesting about this whole comparison? It really makes you think about how we define greatness.
Yeah.
Are we talking pure talent, like impact on the game?
Yeah.
Or some kind of combination?
Right. It's not just about counting trophies, although we'll definitely get into that.
Yeah.
But it's more about, what made each of these guys so unique, so special in their own time. I mean, let's be real. Both were absolutely magical on the pitch.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Both were. Maybe we should start with something that might surprise some people. Their tactical understanding of the game. It's easy to just assume, right, that Maradona was all instinct, just pure improvisation.
Yeah.
And Messi, kinda like the calculated genius. But there's more to it than that, I think.
You're right. The article actually makes this really cool point about Maradona. It's that he really thrived in this chaotic era of football. He was leading teams that, weren't always the most, tactically sophisticated.
Right.
And it's he almost single-handedly elevated their game. You think about when he went to Napoli, that team had never won a major title.
Right.
Then, boom, Italian championship. Huge upset.
Yeah, Maradona, he was a master at adapting to, whatever was thrown at him, really. He could just create something out of nothing. I mean, that's what made him so dangerous.
Right.
Messi, on the other hand, often played in these more structured systems like Barcelona style of play, all the quick passing, all that move.
With Pep Guardiola, yeah.
Right, exactly. So, that doesn't make him any less brilliant, but it shows you how much the context of players in shapes how they develop.
So true. I mean, how do these different tactical approaches actually, how do they play out on the field?
Yeah.
Well, one place you can really see the difference is in positional judgment.
And here, Messi, he's got a clear edge.
Yeah.
He just has this uncanny ability to find space even when there are defenders all around him.
It's unbelievable.
It's like he's playing chess, you know what I mean? Constantly thinking 3 moves ahead, anticipating where the openings are going to be.
It's like he can slow down time, and he sees these passing lanes that no one else even notices. And that really came into play later in his career too, right? When he moved into that more playmaking role.
Oh, totally.
He was controlling the game from deeper positions and really dictating the pace of the match.
And that evolution, that really says a lot about his tactical intelligence.
For sure.
But let's talk about what everyone wants to talk about. Those moments, those pivotal moments that really cement a player's legacy, right? Games and the goals that just become legendary.
Oh yeah, the ones you tell your grandkids about. I mean, for Maradona, got to start with the '86 World Cup run, right? I mean, he practically carried Argentina to victory on his back. And that goal against England.
Oh, come on.
Dribbling past, half their team. I mean, people still say it's the greatest goal of all time.
And it wasn't just the skill. It was the audacity of it, the sheer defiance he showed in that moment. And for Messi, you've got the 2011 Champions League final where he just completely outclassed Manchester United. And then, of course, you've got that year where he scored, 91 goals?
It's hard to wrap your head around that 91 goals in a single year. But even with all those, those individual achievements, the article really stresses how Messi finally winning the World Cup in 2022, that was monumental. It cemented his place in history. And I think, it silenced a lot of the people who were saying, he needed that trophy to be considered on par with Maradona.
It's true. That World Cup win, it adds a whole new dimension to his story. And it showed how much he'd grown as a leader, too. He managed to guide this talented but, inconsistent Argentina team to glory.
Right.
Okay, now let's get to something, that's almost impossible to measure, but, it's essential to both of their greatness.
Right.
Their technical ability.
This is where it gets fun. We're talking pure artistry here, folks. Those moments of brilliance, those touches that leave you speechless. I mean, with Maradona, it was that mesmerizing dribbling. He moved with the ball like it was just an extension of his own body.
It was.
Weaving through defenders like they weren't even there.
It was captivating to watch.
Yeah.
It really was.
And, while Messi is also an amazing dribbler, his style's more about precision, efficiency. His passes are like laser guided, his shots find the back of the net with like pinpoint accuracy. He makes it look effortless.
Right.
It's like, they each had their own language on the pitch. They were expressing themselves through their incredible skills. Okay, but now let's get into the strengths and weaknesses. It's all about those key attributes, right? The things that really set them apart.
Yeah.
So let's start with Maradona. His leadership, on the pitch was undeniable. He had that big game mentality, thrived under pressure. But, the article points out he also struggled with discipline on and off the field.
Yeah.
And then with Messi, you have this incredible consistency throughout his entire career. He adapted to different roles, different systems, constantly evolving. But, compared to Maradona, he might be considered less of a vocal leader, more of a leader by example. You know what I mean?
It is an interesting contrast, right? Maradona, this fiery captain, rallying the troops with all these impassioned speeches, versus Messi, leading with this quiet determination, just letting his performance do the talking. It's interesting to think about what kind of leadership resonates with people more,
It's a great question.
Yeah.
And one that, we'll explore a little bit more. But we got to address the elephant in the room, right?
Yeah.
The trophy cabinet. When it comes to achievements, Messi's collection, it's hard to beat, 7 Ballon d'Ors, countless league titles.
Right.
And that elusive World Cup.
Yeah, but, trophies don't always tell the whole story. You got to consider the context. Like Maradona, he achieved some truly incredible things.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider that, defensive tactics were brutal back then. Imagine trying to dribble past those defenders.
Oh, man.
It just gives you a whole new level of appreciation for what he accomplished.
Yeah, it's so easy to just, get caught up in the numbers. But we got to remember, each of these players face their own, unique challenges, and they left their mark on the game in their own way. Okay, but get ready, because we're about to dive into the most fun part, hypothetical matchups.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah, this is where we can let our imaginations run wild and just pit these two titans against each other. And the scenarios this article has are pretty epic, I gotta say.
Oh, I bet.
So, first up, club level. Okay. Imagine Maradona's Napoli taking on Messi's Barcelona, right? In their prime, let's say that 2011 Barcelona squad. A lot of people consider them to be one of the best club teams ever put together. It's like the ultimate David versus Goliath matchup, right?
Yeah.
You've got Napoli, these scrappy underdogs led by their charismatic captain, versus Barcelona, just the epitome of tactical precision,
Right.
all that fluid passing and movement. And the article even goes into some specific player matchups. You've got Maradona trying to unlock that Barcelona defense, which is led by Sergio Busquets.
Oh, wow.
He's their midfield maestro, controls the pace of the game, shields their backline. Meanwhile, you've got Messi going up against Ciro Ferrara. He's Napoli's tough as nails defender. It's enough to make your head spin just thinking about those, those individual duels.
Right.
And get this, the article's prediction is a 3-2 thriller. So Barcelona's, that intricate passing, it gives them an early lead. But then Maradona, he orchestrates this late comeback, drags his team back into the match with sheer willpower, just pure determination.
Oh, can you imagine the final whistle? All that tension, the drama. It would be an incredible game.
It would be insane. But wait, because the next matchup is even more mind-blowing.
Okay, lay it on me.
All right, get ready. International stage. We're talking Argentina, 1986, led by Maradona, fresh off their World Cup triumph, versus Argentina, 2022. Messi, finally, fulfilling his destiny, lifting that trophy. It's the ultimate clash of Argentina's golden generation.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? It's almost too much to handle. And the article highlights some really interesting battles. Maradona going up against Rodrigo de Paul. He's the engine of that 2022 midfield.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have Messi trying to outmaneuver Jose Luis Brown. He was the rock-solid defender from the 86 squad.
Right.
I know, the intensity would be off the chart. And get this, the prediction is a 2-2 draw. Both legends score, but neither team gets the win. The ultimate stalemate. It's a testament to the, incredible talent on both sides.
It's almost poetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like a fitting end to a matchup that just transcends, generation.
Totally.
It captures what makes this whole debate so captivating.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get too lost in, all this hypothetical stuff, we need to take a breath,
Yeah.
Digest all this information and then come back ready to go even deeper into the whole Maradona-Messi rivalry.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
I don't know about you, but those hypothetical matchups really get the gears turning in my head.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, can you just imagine the roar of the crowd, the tension on the pitch? It would be unlike anything else.
It'd be nuts. And I think it just goes to show that, there really isn't a simple answer to this debate.
Nope.
Both of these guys, Maradona and Messi, they brought something truly unique to the game.
Yeah, the article makes a really good point. It says it all boils down to what you, the individual fan, values in a player.
Yeah.
Like some fans, they might be drawn to that Maradona flair, that almost mythical ability to bend the game to his will.
Right.
And others, they might prefer Messi's consistency, his mastery of those tactical nuances that, kind of define modern football.
Yeah, it's like comparing like two different schools of art. Some people love the bold strokes, the emotional intensity of like an abstract expressionist painting.
Right.
And other people, they prefer, the meticulous detail, the realism of like a Renaissance portrait.
Yeah.
And neither's better, right? It all comes down to taste.
I think what's so remarkable, though, is that both Maradona and Messi, even with their totally different styles,
Yeah.
they both achieved the ultimate prize in football, right?
Yeah.
World Cup glory.
That's right. And those victories, they tell us so much about their leadership qualities too. Like Maradona, that inspirational captain leading from the front, almost single-handedly willing his team to victory back in '86. And then you've got Messi finally, getting that World Cup in 2022. And it wasn't, through fiery speeches or anything. He did it by setting the standard with his own performance and guiding this talented but, sometimes unpredictable Argentina team to success.
It really is fascinating how, like, their personalities just shaped their leadership styles, right? Like Maradona, the outspoken one, the larger-than-life figure, almost like a folk hero in Argentina. And then you got Messi, much more reserved, just letting his actions on the pitch speak for themselves.
And yet, both of them commanded so much respect from their teammates.
Right.
It just shows you there's no one-size-fits-all approach to leadership.
Yeah, even in the high-pressure world of pro sports.
It's true. I think that's a really valuable lesson for anyone, really.
Yeah.
Whether you're captaining a team or, leading a project at work, finding that authentic leadership style, that's crucial.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so back to the article. There's this one question that just keeps popping back into my head, If you could only watch one of them play in their prime, like, who would it be?
Oh, man. That's the ultimate question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, would it be Maradona just dancing through defenders, defying physics with every touch?
Yeah.
Or Messi just like dissecting defenses with such precision, those perfect passes, those goals that just make your jaw drop?
I know. It's like choosing between two masterpieces, right?
It is.
But that's what makes this whole debate so great. It's not about saying one player is definitively better than the other. It's about just appreciating these two extraordinary talents and what they brought to the game.
This whole deep dive, it's been such a great reminder of that.
Sure.
We've gone way beyond just listing stats and achievements.
Yeah.
We've really explored their styles, their personalities, how they influenced football culture. It's a much more, it's just a richer way to understand their legacies.
I agree. It's been a real journey.
Yeah.
But now it's your turn, right? We want to hear from you. What resonated with you the most during this whole deep dive? Was it, a specific moment of brilliance, some like tactical insight, or maybe something about, their leadership styles?
Don't be shy. Let us know.
Yeah.
And hey, maybe this whole conversation will inspire you to go back and watch some classic Maradona and Messi matches.
Yeah.
There's nothing like seeing their magic firsthand, right?
Absolutely. It's funny. We've spent all this time talking about their impact on the game, their technical skills, even their personalities. But what I always come back to with both Maradona and Messi is that pure joy they had, when they were playing.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like childlike. You know what I mean?
You're right. It's like you can't teach that genuine love for the game.
Right.
And it's infectious.
Yeah.
You watch them play and you can't help but smile. It doesn't even matter who you're rooting for,
Exactly. It reminds you why we all fell in love with football in the first place. That sense of wonder, that feeling that anything is possible when someone does something incredible with the ball at their feet.
And both Maradona and Messi, they had that in spades. They just pushed the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
Yeah.
made you believe that magic could happen on a football pitch?
The article, it talks about how Maradona won his World Cup in a time when, defensive tactics were so much more physical, like brutal even.
Oh, yeah.
It makes his dribbling even more impressive when you think about it.
For sure.
It wasn't just skill, it was like courage and determination.
Absolutely. He had to be incredibly tough, physically and mentally, to deal with all that. And Messi, while he's playing in this much more technically advanced era, he's faced his own obstacles, right? Like overcoming those doubts about, could he perform on the biggest stage? Could he lead his country to victory?
And they both did it in their own ways.
Yeah.
It's pretty inspiring when you think about it. Like, it shows that even when you're facing adversity, when there are doubters, setbacks, you can still achieve your dreams if you have the talent, the work ethic, and you believe in yourself.
That's a powerful message. And, it goes way beyond football, really. It's about going after what you're passionate about, whatever that is, with that same kind of commitment and just belief in yourself.
This whole deep dive has really been a great reminder of that. We've looked at all the little details of their styles, the impact of their personalities, the weight of their legacies. It's been a real journey.
It has. And hopefully it's, brought up some new thoughts, new questions for you, our listener.
Yeah. Maybe
you'll go back and watch some of those classic matches, read more about their careers, maybe even have a debate with your friends about it.
The conversation doesn't end here, Rice. The Maradona versus Messi debate, it'll probably go on forever.
Oh, I think so.
And that's a good thing. It keeps their legacies alive. It, keeps our passion for the game burning. And I think it reminds us of, what humans are capable of.
Well said.
Yeah.
As we wrap up this deep dive into Maradona and Messi, we just want to encourage you to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and, just keep celebrating this beautiful game.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.